Good afternoon from Europe. Good morning, good evening, guys, wherever you are. Piotr here, this is live Forex Global YouTube channel. Tuesday, September 8, 2020. Very close to the US cash open after the long weekend. The people in the US, the traders in the US, they don't like what they see. So pre-market is getting even lower. Pound is getting even lower and the yen is getting even higher. So that's what we are going to try to cover around during this update. Before we are going to go through the charts, risk rewarding as usual, guys, please bear in mind trading on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors who can sustain a loss of some or all initial investments. So please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, folks. So we are going to watch Nasdaq right after the entry. If you haven't seen our yesterday update, I strongly encourage you to visit archive section of the Light Forex Global YouTube channel and watch our yesterday update when I've been discussing the possible Nasdaq setups when it comes to the medium term. Also, we've been discussing what the pound is going on. But we are going to start with the yen, especially that during the Tokyo session we got some Japanese numbers. And what was it? It was the household spending year to year. It was much more worse than what market was expecting. Worst what market was expecting, minus 7.6 versus minus 3.6 expectations, right? Then we got also final GDP quarter to quarter minus 7.9 versus expectations minus 0.1. We've seen, and I'm going to show you right now on the hourly chart, we've seen initial reaction to the downside when it comes to the yen. In other words, yen crosses were trying to push higher, but then everything got back to normal and yen is strengthening, especially with this possible risk of coming towards the US cash open. Now, going back to the daily chart of the dollar yen, here, I think that what we've seen towards the end of the previous month, this Friday 28th price action over here, created the range. Well, I missed that trade. Because I've been looking for possible supply zone somewhere higher, right? I missed that trade, but anyway, top of that range been rejected and we are going lower. Right now we are trading towards 106. The next possible trading level is going to be levels close to 105 when it comes to the dollar yen. So what's the for now, what's the scenario, right? If you are a day trader, then probably weekly open, blue dashed line, right, or higher towards 106.70, 106.80. That's your possible supply levels when it comes to earlier mentioned trading range, right? Of course, the bottom of that range around 105.25, 105 level, that's the demand zone. We have here around two figures range, right? What does it mean? It means that if we are going to see upside break, we might retest 109, is very close to 110. So this zone 109, 110 could be treated as a target, right? And because to the downside we have two figure is 103, 102.50. But again, trying to explain, we have to see upside break through the Friday 28th high or downside break through the Friday 28th low post ABE press conference. So that's dollar yen, right? In that case, the next cross is the pound yen. Here we do have huge monster sell-off, all right? And from the seller's perspective, the good thing is that we are trying to break the latest demand zone over here, right? because from here it was the pullback really to the new high, right? And right now we are breaking through that level. We have some lower shadows a little bit lower, so that still works, and I've been talking about that quite a few times, that 138.50 is the last line of the defense. Earlier it was 39.50, 39, but we went through that levels to the downside. And in that case, if we are going to see very strong close to the downside, right, it could create the opportunity for the old seller, so we may activate the old supply. In that case, we might see retest of levels close to 132.50 and psychological 130. We discussed about that. But as described yesterday, when it comes to the cable, right, it also could turn out, and based on the possible Nasdaq price action, I'm going to quickly tell you what I'm talking about. It could be something similar. We cannot call it, just don't get me wrong, we cannot call it straight head and shoulder because we've seen higher levels, right? But something looks like head and shoulder, to be perfectly clear. So if the Nasdaq after the cash open today is going to make the rally to the it's going to make the pullback towards the bottom and then rally, we might see attempt to cover some shorts when it comes to the pound yen, and we might see rally back towards 130.950, 130.985, and then creation of this something similar to head and shoulders, and then final break to the downside, not straight one, right? Why? As I mentioned, because of what we discussed on the Nasdaq yesterday, right? It's very close to what we've seen late February, beginning of the March, right? If we are going to take into the consideration the distance, we are very close to the test this demand zone and trying to find the support. If that's going to happen, the next, based on what we've seen in March, it could be attempt to rally back, and that could create the opportunity for the better levels to sell when it comes to the yen crosses, right? That's how I see the things when it comes to the Japanese yen, to the JPY. Anyway, let's have a look. We know where we are. Let's place few lines here. So that's what we are going to look for here, and here. That's the possible demand based on this first impulse to the downside late February, beginning of the March, right? That's what we are looking for. The first possible supply, overall supply, we do have this discussed yesterday, this one, right? But in the meantime, we might have, and I don't know, I'm going to use different lines maybe, but we have this 11,300 level. Anyway, the US cash market is open officially. So let's have a look. First 5 trading range. Let's check if really they can make the move and then strong reversal to the downside, right? So boom, 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 boom. 2 and 3, and let's make a dash and that's the low, that's the high, and that's the US cash open. That's also as well the weekly open, right? If you are going, because the pre-market range was quite high, it was like 3% down for the Nasdaq, right? So if we are going to see attempt to calm the volatility down, that's gonna be the danger, right? Watching carefully here. So we have new high within this first 5. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Going high. Oh, yo, whoa. Anyway, 2 words about the euro dollar. We are still quiet, didn't hit levels below 1770, right? So that's where there is a liquidity pool, in my opinion. There was some small intraday, stop count. But the thing is that when it comes, if you remember, I've been looking for a buying opportunity, right? So I've been looking for a buying opportunity here. So my price action expected was strong move to the downside with a strong rejection, right? But because BPY didn't hit that levels and all the bounces are very, very weak, well, we might see huge breakdown, right? Taking into the consideration that we have ECB on Thursday. Of course, we are going to get back into that even over the course of the next few days. Well, I'm gonna be quiet, cautious here. Why? Because here euro is losing ground, but well, if you are going to check euro pound, euro Aussie, then euro is trying to gain the ground, right? So maybe, just maybe, it could be good idea to wait and see what's going to happen. Going back to the Nasdaq. $86 points range, quite good one. So looks like 3 to the downside over the course of the day might be what we are looking for, hitting the strong demand, right? So what's the plan? I'm going to look to fade some kind of the rallies when it comes to the Nasdaq. It might be that the market may want to look for some stops related to the pre-market move, right? Related to what we've seen late Friday, right? So maybe, just maybe, some kind of the attempt to close the gap, okay? But anyway, as of now, as long as we are waiting for the demand to be hit, rallies are gonna to be faded by me, right? Do your own research, guys, do your own research. I'm going to check because there is nothing extraordinary when it comes to the calendar, so that might be opportunity for the big guys, for the central banks to try to calm down the volatility during the US session, during the New York session, right? I'm going to watch the session over the course of the day. If necessary, I'm going to come back to you with the update towards the US cash close. For now, guys, don't be trapped. Don't be trapped. Control your exposure. Be safe. Happy New York trading session. Happy New York trading session, and see you around. Take care. Goodbye.